Okay, we are live. And we are here, me, Mario, and Eddie, and also Vansh soon, to do this watch along of the Rome Masters final between Alexander Zverev and Nicolas Jarry. We had kind of a weird tournament on the men's side,
Mm,
but in the end, at least one of these two finalists is actually, one of these big names. I mean, third seed, so also a previous champion, 5 times in Masters 1000 events, and also in Rome in 2017. So yeah, what are you expecting from this match?
well, I mean, a lot of people, I think, have been are expecting Zverev to win this, but I mean, the way Jarry's been playing so far, I mean, he's come through, I would say the tougher draw, right? I mean, the matches against Tsitsipas and Tommy Paul were quite amazing, really, and I don't know, I feel like he's going to be feeling good, and he's going to come into this match strongly. So perhaps the first set might be important for him, but I'm expecting a good match anyway. Even if Zverev might be the champion, but yeah, it's just a funny thing in tennis because he didn't have a great start to his clay season.
No, as well as Rublev in Madrid. Rublev came into Madrid on a 4 match losing streak, and Jarry actually the same before Rome, 4 straight losses.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just to underline how in tennis actually
Mm,
you can always turn it around. Of course, confidence matter, but actually you can also build confidence in kind of slow time, fast time. If a couple of good wins, and suddenly you be back, playing your best tennis, having good feelings.
yeah.
Um, yeah, Goss is, by the way, me too. I'm still disappointed for for our boy Tommy. But
Ah, yeah.
yeah, actually, yeah, talking about this match, the head-to-head is quite interesting because Zverev is ahead, but Jarry has beaten twice Zverev.
Yeah, it's a 2-2
Um,
on clay.
and to on clay, yeah. The win last year in Geneva conditions, we know that in Geneva, more or less, you know, different than what they are in Rome. They also have played another time in Geneva, in 2019, a very famous final that Zverev won lit for nothing. Was an incredibly even match,
Mm,
and so yeah. We know that Jarry can cause some troubles to Zverev, but in the end, I would say pretty much to everybody, because we saw also last year. I don't know, even when he played in the slams against Alcaraz, for example, at Wimbledon, it was also that one a very very hard fought battle. So Jarry has really proved to be one of these players that the top players would probably prefer to avoid.
mm, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, also, I mean, if he does win this, I mean, it's a big if he wins this match. I mean, he'll be up the rankings a bit further, and he might be in the top 16 seeds, right? So
Yeah.
that might help him out, and he could go far in the French Open. So that's another big thing for him. I was just thinking, like, how long a year is in tennis, because I mean, I watched the Jarry play when there was the ATP 250, like 2022 here in Seoul, and it was in the autumn. And I watched Jarry play on the outside court in like about 10 people against Ryan Peniston. He got through that match, but a year later he's like in the top 20 or so, and then or near, and then yeah, now here he is in the final of Rome. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
It's
good.
also, we know also how, having a few, even if just a few very, very strong and good results. We have Vansh here. Let's have him. Hi,
Hey,
Hey guys,
how's
how's it
going?
going?
good. How are you guys?
very good. Yeah,
Eh, we're fine, and I would say excited for this one because
yeah,
you know it can be a very good match. Let's see if it will actually be a good one, but it can be.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
What
yeah, good morning, Ghosty. Yeah.
what are your feelings, Vansh, before this match?
Well, I mean, their head-to-head is 2-2 on clay, right? 4-2 overall. They had these like really close matches in 2019 Barcelona, where like the player who lost had match point, and then same in Geneva. And like I don't know, like so far, like Jarry's been playing really fearless tennis in like some really tight moments, particularly against Tsitsipas and Paul. And I'm kind of interested to see if he can hit through Zverev's defense because Zverev gets so many balls back and he soaks up all the pace,
Hmm.
especially behind the baseline and with his counter punching style. So I'm curious to see if he. I think physically, hopefully, he has enough left in the tank with the days off. Hopefully that won't be a concern. But I think it could be pretty close, pretty tight. I'd still give the edge to Zverev just based on the experience, and
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, do you
that's
think that this change in conditions, Jarry played the last couple of matches at night against Tsitsipas and Paul. Do you think that in particular against Zverev, it's better for him to play, on sunny afternoon? Probably the court is actually a little bit faster. Maybe can be just a little bit easier, maybe to hit through Zverev at times. I've seen, for example, the match at night between Zverev and Fritz, and I was
yeah,
actually, in these conditions, very, very difficult to overhit Zverev. Not overhit because Zverev is kind of defensive with the way he stays from the baseline and hits, but to get through him,
Yes.
it can be very, very difficult if the court is heavier.
yeah. I had the same feeling. I totally agree with that. I was watching that Fritz Zverev match, and Fritz really struggled to hit through those like heavier cold conditions at night. So I thought it would be better for him if the match was in the day. And I have the same feeling with Jarry, especially all the big servers. I usually get that feeling.
Mm.
The match is started. I don't know where are you with the stream. I just watched the ace for 30 love.
Yeah,
Okay, mine's
same.
a bit ahead because I'm on 40 love.
Okay. Can Jarry win the French? Uh, I don't know. It looks a bit difficult, honestly, because first of all,
Mm.
I would say that, for example, this is the main difference also between men and women when we talk about the surprises in the slams. Actually, in best of five, it's more difficult to um, to score these upsets. The strongest player has more time to recover. And let's also imagine, for example, the match between Jarry and Tsitsipas last night. I mean,
Mm.
Jarry could have won also a best of five, in my opinion, but still Tsitsipas would have had time to try to recover and still be on the court fighting to win. So that's the most difficult thing. And also the news I've heard are quite encouraging also to see back Alcaraz and Zverev and Sinner, sorry,
Mm.
the French Open. Both are hitting on the clay. So let's see. We
Okay.
can probably have a full French Open in full swing, even without all the doubts that this ATP 1000 events left us.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, for Jarry to actually win it all, I find that hard to imagine. But I mean, certainly he can have a run. Let's say I can easily imagine, quarters or even semis with a bit of luck, right? But I would be like, if he wins this match, then yeah, we were talking about the seeding. He might get a bit of luck there, but it doesn't always work like that. Even if you get in the top 16 seed, you got a lot of guys that are good on clay who might not be. It just depends on the draw. But yeah, I mean, I think he's obviously he's got a chance to do well.
thing about Jarry is that I don't even think it depends that much on the draw, in my opinion, because he's actually one of these players who, you can see him always kind of losing or winning, more or less regardless of the opposition. Of course, there are some matches where he is the favorite and some matches where he is the underdog, but it's these players who can have some bad stretch, like the start of this clay season, and suddenly he's able to beat two top 20 players back to back on a Masters 1000. Thinking also at the Davis Cup, he had some difficulties, but then the week after he beat Alcaraz in Buenos Aires. Alcaraz maybe was not 100%, but was still a great win, which was not in the air, considering how he was playing. So yeah, he's a bit of unpredictable also at times.
Oh yeah, that was last year, wasn't it? Was it last year? He beat Alcaraz, right?
This year in the semifinal.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Beginning of the year.
And
Was
then he
it?
lost the final, right, to Facundo
Yeah,
Diaz.
to Diaz Acosta.
Right.
Yeah. So
if he wins this, then he'll be, I think, 15 in the rankings.
Yeah. Just
And
one
Zverev will
spot
be a top
behind his
Mhm.
grandfather, which
Oh,
has
that's
been
right.
number
Yeah,
14.
14.
Number
Yeah,
14. He will be, I think, 10 points behind Paul, something like that. Not that many. Yeah, so
wonder
far
if
we
he's
just
thinking.
had a couple of fast games.
Yep. Good start for Jarry to get through that one quickly.
Do you think the backhand down the line today will be big for Zverev to keep Jarry on the move?
Yeah, it can absolutely be. I've seen, for example, the match, all the matches Jarry has played, especially, the last two against Tsitsipas and Paul. And when Jarry starts hitting heavy, it got, very, very difficult for both Tsitsipas and Paul to try to stay there in the rally. At times they have saved themselves with some, great shots and, with all the qualities they have, but Zverev having this very solid backhand can for sure really help him to, make this hitting even more difficult for Jarry, in my opinion. Yeah.
He's already had 3 aces. His first serve percentage is always really high, right? Actually, right now, he hasn't missed a first serve. So he's 100% first serves in.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, so the conditions might help Zverev as well to some degree.
Yeah, Zverev is, if not the one of the 2-3, top 50 players with the highest first serve percentage. Talking about how many, he gets in. So
And there's
considering also that he goes for it,
Right.
8.7 serve rating. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 4 aces in 8 points so far.
Zverev can become today the 5th player to win, 2 Clay Masters multiple times.
Okay.
After Muster and the big 3, actually. I consider also
Mm.
Federer, because I consider, Hamburg and Madrid as 2 different Masters. Because for me, they are, I know that Madrid came to replace Hamburg, but, it's still different places, different maybe also conditions.
I
So,
agree,
I would consider, of course, his name.
Yeah. I mean, he won that tournament 4 times, right? Hamburg?
Yeah, 4 and twice Madrid.
Yeah.
The first time beating Nadal in the final to 2009, and then on the blue clay in 2012, which was a pretty close one for Berdic. Actually, one of the, of the biggest opportunities he had in those years to win a big tournament. Yeah, I would say so far we kind of had the start we were expecting. I don't know about you, but I was expecting more or less the first games to be pretty quick. Also
Yeah.
considering the two players involved.
Well, that was
I'm expecting at least one tiebreak.
Wouldn't be surprising. But yeah, it's still a long way. And we are love 15.
yeah. Of course, Zverev's return here is maybe key.
Yeah, return will be for sure a key. I would say that the return was the main factor that made Paul, stay in that semifinal, in that second set. He started returning really, really well. 3-4 winners, but more than the winners, especially how the depth he found on the return. He started reading very well Jarry's serve, and I think that was the main key for him, because overall he was a bit overwhelmed by Jarry's game, in my opinion, on Friday. But yeah, return for sure is always a great key in today's tennis, and especially when you face one of these big servers like Jarry.
Yeah.
But Jarry following up with a nice serve to bring it to 15-30.
I mean, if it gets broken, it's just because we have just said that wouldn't be surprising to see a first set tiebreak. So
Yeah. The commentator curse.
Oh, his grandfather is there, yeah.
yeah. It's actually a very good, opportunity, of course, for Chile, because Jarry will be the first Masters champion of this century, and the second after Rios,
Yeah.
Mm.
who won his last one in 1999, if I'm not wrong.
Right. He
Pretty
won 5
sure.
of them.
That wasn't when he became number one, was it?
Yeah, he got in 98 to number one, when
Right.
he also completed the Sunshine Double in 98.
Yeah, one of the few number ones that didn't win a slam, at least in the men's side for a while.
Right. He got to a slam final, right, in Australia, and then lost that one pretty decisively.
Australia 98 also, yeah.
Yeah. He lost to Peter Korda.
Wow, and
That's
actually
right.
not even a semi-final in the other three slams.
Mm. He was quite an enigma from what I understood. His focus and his concentration towards the game was all over the place.
So that was a good rally there for Jarry.
Yeah, that was better hitting. He was averaging, I think, 85 miles per hour or 89 at one point against Tsitsipas on the forehand.
Yeah, but it was the same in the semi-final. The speed was, in European, it was 131, 132. It's like, I don't know how to. Yeah, but it's not far from from the match against Tsitsipas. It was kind of similar. He's hitting very, very strong.
Yeah.
It was another good return from Zverev.
Yeah. He had no problem dealing with that kick serve. He just went really far back, was able to get good contact.
Yeah, exactly. Zverev is already 2 meters tall.
Yeah.
Then he stands, 5 meters behind the baseline. So yeah, it's not probably, the most clever strategy.
Right. I wonder if he'll throw in the serve and volley. I'm sure
It
he'll
actually
try.
worked. It's also because of Zverev's backhand, because it worked very well. Of course, against Paul, who stays closer, and actually against Tsitsipas, whose backhand, is not as reliable as Zverev's one. And so, of course, he struggled also on these kick second serves.
Right. Okay, that's a good hold.
Yeah, it was lob 30 down. Very good one. I'm happy that it's raining here and not in Rome. I take the rain as long as it stays away from Rome. This year actually has gone pretty well. The first days, a couple of rain delays, but after that,
Yeah, nothing like last year, right, where we had
no. Last year has been a nightmare. I don't remember a more rainy edition than last year actually.
Yeah. So how many days were you there, like on the site?
Tell me.
How many days were you actually there? Like
I've been 2 days on the last week, the first week of the event, on Wednesday and Thursday. So it was first round for the ATP in both days, and on Thursday it was already the second round for the women. So I got a bit of rain in all all the 2 days. Big return here.
Yeah.
This is the first big final in a while for Zverev. Talking about Masters or tournaments. Do you think his second serve can be a bit more under pressure than usual? Can we be back seeing Zverev, who is a little bit uh, overwhelmed by some close situation when he has to hit the second serve?
Yeah, we saw that in the semifinal, right? Because it crept
Yeah, a
back
bit.
up
Yeah,
in the second set. I think he had like 5 doubles and
yeah.
was decelerating a little bit more. Although that used to be a much bigger problem than it is these days in his game. Like I think it was more 2019, 2020. That's when it was
Yeah,
really
for
at its
sure.
peak.
The US Open final.
Yeah,
Nobody can forget. Yeah.
right. Um, but like now he just serves such a high first serve percentage that he doesn't even have to worry about it most times.
You're right. Yeah, I feel like there was that little period when he would, he was just having the yips on the second serve, but it feels like it's been a while since we've had to really worry about anything like that. So yeah, he serves so well. But do you think if he wins this, do you think this changes anything slightly in terms of sort of favourites for the French Open? Because I personally think he's in the mix, but he's not in that top tier, obviously. But I do think out of the rest, I think he's a serious contender. Like he's not in that top three, but
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because like, physically we've seen he has the game to do it, but it's just a question of like can the nerves and like can he close out those big matches in the semis and finals?
mm,
yeah, I
And
mean,
like
for sure.
we just see it before I actually say yes. So like I would say yeah, like he's in that mix, right, with Casper and Stefanos and I guess maybe Rublev also, maybe this time around because of some
mhm.
question marks. Who else
But
would really be there?
yeah, I mean, Rublev has got to get
Yeah.
past the quarterfinal. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to be his first. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But but yeah, I mean, I just think because Zverev has obviously he's won these big events, and
Yeah, I struggle to answer to your question actually because in terms of level, it's I don't need exactly a win today to tell you where he is in terms of level. But at the same time, a win in a Masters final, regardless of who the opponent is, can probably also, I don't know, give me some confidence, maybe in terms of the big matches. I don't know. It will also depend on how close will be this one. For example, if it's a close one and Zverev plays well in the important moment, serving well,
right,
eating okay, also when it matters the most. I don't know. Maybe it can give me some good signs, but I don't know if it's even a 6-3, 6-4 win, for example. I don't know how much I can take. It depends. For me, it's still in that tier. Just a little bit above, behind. The top contenders. Let's say.
yeah,
I would actually say, the group of three players, Zverev, Tsitsipas, and
Mhm.
Ruud, probably. I would
Yeah.
say for these three, we can. Yeah, there is also Rublev, but I don't know because
Yeah.
with these players, I am a bit more confident that they can score some upset in the tournament.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, it's a tough call.
yeah. I mean, I don't really expect him to win her, but I just think like we have to think about this because we don't know exactly how Carlos, Yannick, um, how they're going to be. It seems you said it's going to be it's good news though. So far for Yannick, you think he's going to be okay?
That's what the good news is, first of all, that he's hitting on the clay. If he wasn't doing it right now, it was then 100% sure that he would have missed the French, because it starts actually in a week exactly. Next Sunday we're going to watch the first round matches, not for every player, but we don't know still. So I think that then the doctor will tell him, if he's able to go or not. But so far, the thing that he's hitting on the clay and he's in Monte Carlo training with his team, it's for sure, a good sign, because mm, it shows us that there is that goal and that it is possible if he's trying to do um, his best in order to be there. If he will be able to go, then I think that we will have the news between, I don't know, Wednesday, I think middle week, just before the draw, I would say. But the news that I'm hearing in Italy and that I'm having also from people who are close to him, is they are telling me that there is the chance, and so I'm hoping on this chance that we will see him in Paris.
I hope he does play. Yeah, of course. Yes.
Thing about them, Sinner, Alcaraz, that I kind of nowadays have this feeling that it's not a matter of form. If they are fine physically and they go to Paris, I'm pretty much sure they will have a good tournament.
I think so, right? They showed that in Madrid, even with their physical limitations, they could
Yeah,
be
exactly.
very competitive in the tournament.
In the end, for example, Alcaraz has only been beaten by, picking Rublev in the last couple of sets, regardless of, Carlos' performance, which, dropped down in the end of the match. And Sinner, the only loss he had on the clay so far, it's been that one against Tsitsipas, so I don't, I'm pretty much confident that if they go there, it's because they're ready for a deep run. And
yeah, in a way, I was a bit more concerned about Alcaraz though, because he just like it was the arm rate, and he wasn't really hitting forehands. He wasn't hitting a proper forehand in that match. But he took a bit of a rest, right?
He can reach the quarterfinals even without a forehand.
Well, I mean, he was doing pretty well.
But he's always pretty good, regardless.
Yeah, he was hitting those slice forehands and drop shots. But
yeah, I mean,
he was
thing
being
is
very
that
cautious with the normally he has really high miles per hour on the forehand, like he really explodes through it, but he was hitting it a lot softer and just like more. He was like more cautious with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He still got through Struff somehow.
Well, yeah, exactly. In Madrid.
Yeah. But then I saw him go back to a lot of slices against Rublev from positions that he would normally like hit more headed.
Yeah, I've taken from the injuries he and Sinner had is that it was also difficult to really evaluate because it was kind of a day by day situation, and so it's not been really easy, also to understand, also for someone who just watches them play, they are so good in general that it's also difficult to understand at times. Even Sinner against Kachanov, he lost a set, but tennis wise, he was pretty okay. And
I suppose if Zverev wins this, we could have a situation where he's already playing like a Tsitsipas in the fourth round, right? Because Tsitsipas is 9th seeded, and Zverev is, if he wins this, he'll be 4th.
Yeah, exactly. It can be then, something like Medvedev will be 5th.
Yeah.
I mean, for what I'm watching, having Zverev inside the top 4 instead of Medvedev probably is a bit more, let's say right, but just in terms of what I'm seeing these weeks on the clay, Medvedev is not really, convincing. Also, the way he got beaten by Paul was pretty much concerning, but not because just the loss against Paul. It's fine, but
the serve is all over the place, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The first hold came in second game of the second set, something like that.
Yeah. He was talking about some shoulder issues he's been dealing with since many weeks. But I actually thought Madrid, I thought when all those other, when Alcaraz was withdrawn, Sinner had withdrawn, and then the draw opened up against the Hechka. I thought that was one chance where he was looking like, ooh, maybe he's like a slight favorite to actually do something, but then he had the freak injury.
No, I cannot confirm, but especially because it's not something that really interests me, so I don't really, ask anyone. If I would like, probably I would know more, but I just don't really care. So I cannot confirm the news. Sorry.
We'll find out in time if it's true or not. If it's a
Yeah,
serious thing.
exactly.
We'll...
But it's possible. 15:30 here on a pretty big game. Probably Eddie already knows what has happened, but there is a second serve. Mm.
Oh. Yeah, so
Having a
Zverev has break point.
okay, slices. The forehand drop shot into the net. So yeah, 15:40. Two very, very big chances for Zverev because winning one of the next 2 points, he would go serving for the set. It's unbelievable how time flies because I remember as if it was yesterday that I was there watching Zverev beating Djokovic in 2017.
Right. That was 7 years ago.
7 years ago. Unbelievable. And actually, Rome has always had kind of, let's say, old champions because Zverev today can become the youngest since Zverev himself. And
Yeah, but that's just because Djokovic and Nadal just
yeah,
dominated
exactly.
for so many years.
Exactly. And then there was Murray in 2017, also was older than him in 2017. And Medvedev, yeah, also, even if it was more or less, let's say, just a matter of a couple of months.
Mm.
We got.
Well, we've just seen Jarry's backhand doing the work there. And he brings it back to deuce.
Very good. And here, the court position actually, hurt Zverev a bit.
Yeah, he got way too passive.
We got a donation, but with a question. So we thank first of all, and we can answer. Can she win all this year?
Looks kind of tough, right? I mean,
As good as she is, it's a pretty big task.
yeah, especially the Wimbledon part. But Roland Garros, I think she's a favorite over the field. I was looking at
Sure.
the odds yesterday. I was like, would you take her or the field? And most people would say her. So
Yeah, for sure. I think that Sabalenka securing the second seed will make the draw still, a bit more accurate. Sabalenka has still been, the clear second best player of the clay season. So I think that the second seed is accurate pair, not meet Iga until a potential final.
There's a big hold there.
A bit of pressure on Zverev here. He hasn't broken from 1540. And
so far his serve has not been under much pressure. So we'll see if that changes with the breakpoint saves, right? If he has to hit more second serves.
Ooh. It's in. Oh no, could have played better at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about Rybakina, but in the end, in my opinion, the results and the placement matters, and when you have been finalist in both WTA 1000, in the end, Sabalenka has also been 1 point away from winning in Madrid the title. For me, we cannot consider her you know the second best of the clay season, despite Rybakina doing very well, and as well as also Collins Golf. Probably Rybakina maybe has been better in terms of that she beat Iga in Stuttgart, then she really pushed Sabalenka in Madrid, and for part of the match she played better. But then in the end, in my opinion, the final result still matters more. Then I don't
Yeah.
know.
Collins is going to be the most interesting player, right? Because she could play any of those four in the
Yeah,
fourth
also
round.
because of the seeding. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Rybakina will be kind of under pressure in this slam because, quite a long time that her slam results have been a
Right.
bit disappointing.
Since Australia last year. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I'm just laughing at Ghosty's comment there. Is Rybakina doing a soft protest?
Zverev is 18 out of 18 with the first serve in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember when he played Alcaraz in Australia. I think he was at 85%
Yeah.
for 4 sets, which is very hard to stop when he's doing that.
5 games to 4. This is a bit like the second set between Tsitsipas and Jarry. Tsitsipas was the one having the chances.
Yeah.
Didn't use these chances, and I don't know how this one will end, of course, but
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, he had those 2 break chances at 5-all, I remember. And he had
yeah, and
second
five
sets on
overall.
both, and he had second sets on both, and he probably should have broken on one of them, especially I think the first one he had a forehand and he just kind of got his footwork wrong, and then the second one he was standing in on the first serve or on the second serve, standing in, and then like he just got beat with the pace of Jarry's forehand. So that was, but then I thought in the third set, like Jarry, like he deserves a lot of credit for
Oh, sure.
obviously, his like he plays Tsitsipas pretty tough in general, right? Like their head-to-head is 4-2 in favor.
Yeah.
His head-to-head is 4-2 in favor of Jarry now after this. So
Yeah, and it's the first time one wins 2 straight matches in the river,
yeah,
because they
so
always
they
split the
always keep
meetings.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, and now he's beaten Tsitsipas on all the 3 surfaces also, because
yes,
he had lost the only meeting on clay.
yeah,
Even if maybe in the most difficult court in the world, when you have to face Tsitsipas, because Monte Carlo,
yes.
you know that.
Yeah. But I thought, yeah, as well as Jarry played, it was probably a missed chance, because I think, most people were still expecting him to win, right, and get to the final. Plays Zverev there, and he plays Zverev very well on clay. And then narrative-wise, I think that would have been interesting to see ahead of Roland Garros with the um, like opportunity.
Let's see if Zverev will be able again to put Jarry's serve under pressure here. Jarry misses the forehand.
Wayward forehand, and
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw, and we thanked him. Uh, but yeah, I think that our answer has been that as good as she is, it still looks, pretty much difficult to win all three. Then I mean, if she does it, mm, but will be, she is an all-time great, and she will be, but will be even better than all-time great stuff. Winning
Yeah,
all these, and then also French, Wimbledon, Olympics. Basically, she has to go without losing any match, or more or less so, for other 3 months, a couple of months. So
yeah,
and love 30.
Yeah, Jarry's in trouble here.
yeah. 6 forehand unforced errors so far.
And that was really a big chance missed there for Zverev.
I don't know why he actually went so big with this forehand. It's actually a bit unusual for him. Um,
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. Probably that's my feeling. Probably could have been the moment to play another cross court.
yeah. I
Mm.
was just about to say that. I think he should have gone cross.
In the end, Jarry is kind of struggling also a bit right now, with his
Mm.
forehand. So um, I disagree with the too conservative approach, but in this case, just make him hit another shot. Mm.
But here we go. We've got a set point.
Here it makes more sense, of course.
Yeah, that was
1540.
much better. And he put some extra spin on it. It was heavier, and he got Jarry out of position with the first forehand cross. So
Yeah, let's say that this fortnight, Zverev has hit the forehand quite well,
yeah,
and he actually said a very good thing in a post-court interview, because he said the forehand is often the shot that determines my level. Made me win some matches and made me lose some others,
yeah, that's true.
and that's it. I think. Yeah, 6-4,
Yeah,
a
wide.
missed forehand. It was in the air, let's say. Mm, it was
Yeah,
in the air. Six
eventually,
four.
eventually he was under pressure in like so many service games, or at least three of them. So that's you knew eventually the dam would break.
Yeah. Yeah. So a little bit disappointing from Jarry's point of view. So, but
Do you think it can be maybe the pressure of the occasion? Non, it's more that doing this hitting game that he did against Tsitsipas and Paul. It's more difficult actually to do it against Zverev, or maybe a combination of both.
probably both.
Combination,
Yeah.
I probably lean a little bit more towards the latter. It's because it is more. It is like that kind of game style that Zverev prefers, because he prefers to just
Hmm.
sit back, absorb, and defend and counterattack. Whereas like Paul and Tsitsipas, I feel like he is still a little.
90%. Yeah, let's say that if Zverev doesn't drop his first serving percentage a little bit, it's going to be very,
Yeah,
very probably
90%
impossible to think
versus
a
him
break, because
is a joke. Yeah. Except for the first set against Tabilo, right? That's when he served pretty poorly. That's the only time I've seen him at this tournament below 70% on first serves.
Mm. Yeah. Nothing like that today. And yeah, for Jarry, it's like, yeah, he really needs to be serving and making as many forehands as possible. But yeah, it just hasn't been quite at that level.
And he's kind of struggled to win second serve points, right? Like 3 for 11 on second serves. That's rough.
Camilla Giorgi deserves a movie.
Yeah, seriously, that's.
Who knows? I see so many reports and I don't know what to believe. There's a new thing every day.
Is the WTA weekly today or tomorrow? I think the producer can reply to this.
Is he watching?
Yeah, I think. I Mm. 30 love here. Let's say that also, probably for someone like Zverev, also serving first in the set helps him even more to be less under pressure, especially, for example, when he was 4-all in the first set.
Yeah. I mean, he's only lost 1 point on serve the whole match.
Yeah.
He's just won. Was it? Yeah, 11 of the last 12 points there, was it? Oh.
Yeah, 11-1.
Yeah.
Because he broke to 15.
Yeah, it's like Jarry, with the way, I mean, Zverev doesn't look like he's going to fall apart in his serve at all. So, I mean, Jarry's really got to be on it. I mean, but
yes, the thing is that, will he, is he able to return this well against such a first serve?
no, that's, I mean, he's got to concentrate on his own serving with us.
I got to take my clothes from the balcony, actually, because there is a storm.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, you better get that quick.
Very quickly. Stormy. How's the weather where you are, Vanch?
No, the weather here is very warm and sunny right now.
Wait, you're in
San Diego, California.
Right. Yeah, it's always like.
How about yourself?
Oh, it's warm and sunny today. Yeah, it's like the first day I've been thinking like, oh, it's getting a little bit warm. Maybe I'm gonna have to put some air conditioning on.
Oh, where are you based?
I'm in Seoul, in Korea.
Okay, Seoul, nice.
Yeah, but it's last week, one day it was quite cold, and then suddenly, yeah, it's getting warm again. Wow, did the firework?
Wow.
I don't know if you've got sound on. Like I've got a very low level of sound. That there was some sort of, I heard a firework or something.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have the sound down, but it seems like there's a delay here. It reminds me of Cincinnati, where like every Friday during the tournament at 8 p.m. they have fireworks, and the players usually are up in arms about it.
Yeah, good game for Jarry. Of course, a crucial one to be back on board.
Yeah, that was solid. Yeah, but you're talking about whether he can break Zverev. I almost feel like he maybe he needs to like sort of create that pressure, but it's just
It's my
yeah.
dog.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be crazy because of the thunders.
Oh, big. One of the most craziest storms I've ever seen in my life was in Italy. When I was in Italy.
In the summer.
Yeah, summer. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't rain that often in the summer, but when it does,
Right. I remember, yeah. It was pretty humid, and then it was sunny for several days, but then it was the humidity built, and it was a bit scary, actually. But this is when I was a kid, so.
Zverev keeps winning
Hello,
points.
Nurlan in the chat. Yeah.
Basta.
Hello there, Nurlan. Yep, doing okay. Looks like John is off to Strasbourg for WTA next week. Or tomorrow, I guess.
Is Collins actually playing? I was a bit surprised to see her in the draw. I thought for a moment that she could have, just took a week without matches.
Yeah, she hasn't pulled out yet, right?
Maybe she will pull off a Krejcikova.
Maybe, but then
winning Strasbourg and the French Open back to back. I think Ghosty agrees with me.
Right, I was surprised that she played Charleston, I guess, after Miami.
Also, yeah.
So maybe she just wants to keep that momentum going.
Oh, Zverev lost a point actually in this service game. And Jarry attacks. No, this is. He could have done better here.
Yeah, he had the short ball. He had the approach.
Yeah, so my stream's a bit ahead of yours, which is makes a change because usually I'm with Damien, and his is always like, I don't know, so far ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm watching on Tennis TV, so.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so in the end, a hold 215 could have been maybe a bit different if Jarry didn't miss that backhand, but yeah, the point was not over yet, and also 30-all, it's not guaranteed that something then happens. So yeah, so far Jarry has never won 2 points in the same return game. So
yeah. You think Jarry has to do something different on the return? Is there anything he can do?
yeah.
Zverev keeps up this insanely high first serve percentage.
Yeah, it will also depend on that. I can also imagine that for a player like him, also physically, it's not that easy to return, to these first serves. And
yeah.
Did Zverev actually say that winning the Olympics is bigger than winning a major?
I don't think that he said that in general. I think maybe he say this for me. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't know.
remember the full quote.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the full quote was, but I remember reading the headlines about that. Which,
That was a great rally there from Jarry.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's the only way he can be back in this match, at least in terms of uh, the more his level goes high, the less chances there are that he gets broken. Given that so far on return, more or less nothing is giving his way.
yeah,
Yeah, by the
Tsitsipas.
way, I think it was Tsitsipas. Yeah.
I think he said about the ATP finals last year.
Talking about more difficult because you only face the top players.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that I remember. Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Well, probably physically. We can talk about that maybe. For example, this is one of the tournaments that, even for example, the big three for one moment stopped winning at some point. Yeah, then Djokovic has been back winning the last couple editions. I don't know, uh, but yeah, especially as long as the best of five stays, uh, it's difficult to dismiss how difficult it is to win a slam.
Yeah. Nolan is asking about why Iga is more vulnerable on grass because of the serve and return. Yeah, I mean, obviously, first serve effectiveness becomes much more important on the grass. Quicker surface, you want to be able to get those quick points. On the return, yeah, serve and return, I guess, but also the movement from the on grass, bit different
Ah,
than sliding, and she goes deep on at Roland Garros, so she doesn't have a ton of time to be super great at
Trouble.
deep.
a
But yeah,
better
very
forehand.
the forehand again going wayward by Jarry.
Yeah, we have a couple of great points.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's times when his forehand is just absolutely on fire, and then there's other times where it's so streaky, and he just sort of gets tight in the arm. And I don't know, really, it doesn't seem to be anything wrong
This
technically.
is out.
Yeah, the passing shot backhand from Zverev was out, but it was a very good effort, right? And
Yeah, for sure. We know that attacking Zverev on his backhand is you always are in danger as long as he
yeah,
reaches the ball.
Yeah.
I actually think the best backhand in the game right now. That I mean,
Zverev.
yeah,
It's
there is still Djokovic, of course,
Like
but
him,
yeah,
Djokovic and Sinner, right?
in terms
The
of consistency, or I mean,
yeah, I agree with also Sinner's backhand being good, but I think that Zverev can actually always find every angle with the backhand. I don't know. It's my judgment. I really like that shot. Actually, I have to say.
yeah. I guess Medvedev's is also a little tricky because it stays so low and he doesn't miss it at all, and it's just the tolerance on that wing is just crazy good. But
Yeah, let's say that
then
probably
gloves,
Zverev has a bit more, the ability also to strike some winners
yeah,
with the backhand.
especially when he goes down the line and flattens it out. And,
that was a great point from Jarry opening up the court and finishing inside with his forehand.
Yeah, isn't this nice?
Who's watching Premier League? No, I'm just watching tennis.
Couldn't care less.
Yeah, also
Not-
because it's what Manchester City. So yeah,
yeah. Oh, they're gonna win again.
Arsenal is not even winning. So
What's happening in Italian football?
Inter has won the championship this year.
That's right.
Then there are two teams in the finals in the European, the Europa League and the Conference League. Atalanta, who beat Liverpool, and it's a good one against Leverkusen, the German champions.
Oh yeah, Leverkusen a great team.
Big hold.
Yeah, great hold.
He had his shoulders on the wall, and but yeah,
Yeah, so Jarry's just got to hold in there and hope that maybe Zverev ends up hitting a few second serves. But that's
I mean, very good that, and this has actually been the biggest thing about Jarry in this couple of weeks, that, even after missing some shots and an ace, he's still hitting with all he has. Also that forehand, for example, to say the break point, doing, doing well in keeping his focus on what he has to do. Yeah, down the line really breaks a lot. Actually, Jarry's rhythm in the rally, having to move quickly. He never misses a serve.
yeah, it's ridiculous, really.
Yeah, and he still hasn't lost a single point with the first serve. Oh, he missed one. It's good. Another another hole to love.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah, I mean, what
Yeah,
would you
let's say
say?
that Tabilo had actually, for sure Zverev is playing way better actually today, and that has to be said, than in the semi-final. But also Tabilo probably had a bit more of this, coming forward and hitting hard, but changing you know, the dynamic of the rally a little bit more than Jarry, and this was, bringing also some confusion to Zverev at the beginning. Of course, the serve was not that good as today is. But yeah, we are still on serve. Let's see if Jarry can hold up.
Yeah, it's like if you were Jarry's coach, like what would you say now? It's just really just stay solid and it's hard to say anything when Zverev is playing this well.
Yeah, it's the kind of match where every mistake, for Jarry can, even for example that one with the backhand, it was only 30-15, but in this situation, even getting 30 all at one game, it's actually gold for what we've seen so far. So it's that situation where he really is under pressure on every single shot, because every mistake can be in the end kind of a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean,
Great
he's
serve.
lost 2 points Zverev has on the serve, and they both were second serves. It's pretty crazy. I know he's not one of the best spot servers out there. Like he definitely sacrifices some placement for, like he has the speed and he has the
Yeah.
first serve inconsistency, but if he was actually going for lines or he was going for specific spots, it might be different. But I suppose he just doesn't need to. He makes tennis boring. He makes yeah. Actually, I've seen him say this himself that he wants to make the other guy bored. Have you heard him say that, Mario?
Yeah, I remember that quote. It was also in, I have to admit that I find it a good way to, answer to those who say, you make the matches boring. In the end, everyone plays to win. So, it depends on whether if you're the watcher, just the fun enjoying the match, but if you just analyze, then in the end, if this helps him to win more than what he would have won in his career playing another style of tennis, then good for him.
Yeah. I remember before he was supposed to play Tiafo at Roland Garros last year. That's when he said that I'm going to try to make the match as boring as
Yeah,
possible
exactly.
because
I mean,
Francis is a
against
showman.
someone like Tiafo, it's actually
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
That's why he has such a good head-to-head against him.
it's actually right, against a player like
Yeah.
Tiafo.
Mm.
30 all, another pressure moment, let's say, and a good serve.
Like it was a serve out wide that's working well there in that game.
Oh.
This game.
Deuce.
Oh, that backhand down the line.
Yeah, I agree with Ghosty, but it also depends. I don't know. It depends also on the match you're playing. If you, play in the Masters final, then I think for everybody, I think the main goal would be uh, to win the match. Then maybe it also depends on the situation. But yeah, I cannot criticize, someone who wants to win. So then, the net helps Jarry, even if Zverev mm, did kind of an horrible thing.
Oh. It was a bit awkward. Just clip the net and slice, and then Zverev, I guess, was going for a drop shot, but it had no spin, backspin, side spin.
And he holds with a big serve.
Yeah, he holds on. I mean,
Yeah.
But it's only, you feel like it's only gonna last for so long.
Yeah, I know. Can he get 2 points in his Zverev service game?
Yeah.
Well, that's so. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe if he does do that, then Zverev will suddenly be like, oh, he'll just. But I don't think he will. But like, he might. Yeah. Let's see.
How big is the Rome Stadium? Is it, how many people can it fill? Like 10,000?
I think it's 12.
12?
Yeah, more or less it's 12. Even because 12, I think I've read the rule book, and I think it's the least a stadium can have. So I don't think it's less than 12. It
You mean
seems,
for the?
it seems kind of little because it's all bit in vertical. We were saying that also in another. You're always kind of above the players wherever
Yeah.
you are in the stadium.
You mean there's a minimum for like a Masters 1000?
Yeah,
Or
there
playing
are
a
some rules in that, but yeah, I don't. Very love
Okay.
here. We're off to probably another easy game for Zverev on serve.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like,
Yeah, it's right now it's looking like the big question is, will Jarry reach the tiebreak? But yeah, if then suddenly something happens.
I mean, I usually think of Zverev in these type of serving performances like Madrid or ATP finals or places like that, where there's less wind and sun and outdoor elements.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but like here, he hasn't even lost more than 2 points all match. It's kind of crazy. Like I just can't. Yeah, I can't compute it. It seems like if I was checking this, I wouldn't believe it was real.
Isn't it a bit frustrating, if you are Jarry and set and the half 1 hour and 13 minutes, and you haven't done anything on the opponent's serve.
Yeah, and you're fighting for your life to hold yours
Yeah,
every
also.
time. Like,
yeah, it's
you're
just
having
like
to play really good tennis to do that. So it's like the worst position to be in.
yeah, 79% for serves, 30 out of 31.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
I mean, Jarry's first serve percentage is not bad either. I mean, it's 69%. He's winning like 80% of his first serve points, but
Mm-hmm. But even when, yeah, Zverev, has had a second serve. He still won 6 out of 8. I mean,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, but
We'll see. Maybe just try to get this to a tie break and then see if you can sneak 1 or 2 points there. But you do also just have to hope this Zverev gets a little tight here, if you're Jarry. Maybe just starts thinking about it. But I don't know. You're just kind of hoping the level of serving just dips enough. I guess the people in the chat do not want to see more of this.
I mean, nobody is forced to.
Yeah. They just want it to be over.
Yeah, it depends a bit on your personality also. There are, for example, some people who once they've started reading a book, even if they're not enjoying it, they still want to keep going and finish it. But I'm not that kind of, if I don't like something, I just, stop.
Yeah.
And say maybe, with a match or something.
Yeah. One of the most impressive things I ever heard on the stream is Damien, actually. Damien watched in the entire Mahmoud Isner match.
what?
During
an entire?
The entire Mahmoud versus Isner 2010 Wimbledon match. 11 hours and 5 minutes. During the break. I'm like,
why?
Like that,
I would never. Actually, sorry.
Wait.
And also because I'm not a fan of the big serving. So I think I would have gone a bit. I mean, it's also then at some point it's.
Having said that, I think I did watch like the whole of the John Isner versus Kevin Anderson.
I did too, yeah.
That was like 7.5 hours, and yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it too. That one I watched it too.
Yeah.
But the semifinals.
Yes,
I don't think David actually enjoyed it. He mostly just did it as a challenge. It was a COVID pandemic challenge.
Yeah, and after that,
Maybe
there was,
I don't know,
there was the Djokovic Nadal semifinal.
Yeah. Yeah. That was quite an unforgettable Wimbledon.
But why did Demian watch it? I mean, he just watched the replay of it, or he actually watched it at the time?
No, I hope it was live.
No, it was a replay.
A replay?
What?
A replay in 2020, yeah.
No,
during the COVID break. But there were no matches.
Oh.
He does it just as a tennis historian.
Yeah.
That's a real tennis fan there.
I think it was one of those where, you make a deal with your friends, that type of thing, and you ask them to do something that's they never.
Yeah, the thing about the replays for me is that, of course, you don't have that sense of the competition.
Yeah. I think
that's the main thing for me about tennis. I love too much this competition. So yeah.
Yeah. Also, when you already know the results and you know exactly what happened in every single game, especially with the flash score and everything, it's.
But I was like that when I was a kid. I remember that I watched, I think 5 or 6 times the Azarenka Serena Cincinnati final in 2013.
Oh.
Because I had the replay saved in my in my decoder, in my in my TV,
Mm.
and I don't know why. I think I watched that match a lot of times. I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Yeah, I mean back then, man, that was the thing. You had to record all these matches, and then you had them saved in your.
And the other one I watched
Mhm.
more than once. It's been Vinci against
Oh,
Serena Williams.
sorry, we've got a chance here, a little half chance for Jarry. He makes the backhand
And that's good.
down the line. Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah, that's a good passing shot. Zverev is not the fastest, maybe, in taking the net, but his
Oh,
backhand approach was still very good.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh
expect
my.
Jarry to actually
Breaking
make it
news.
that well.
2
Yeah,
points in Jarry's
30 all.
return game. Wow, that's a first.
Let's see how
That's a really
Zverev
good shot.
reacts.
Yeah.
That was
The first serve scene. Oof.
a little
The,
bit
the
too much from
forehand
Jarry.
the forehand goes long. Yeah, he hasn't been
Mm.
very quick with the racket after hitting.
Mm.
Why is Zverev so popular?
Is it
Well, I
really
mean,
popular?
uh, in Rome he kind of is, but I mean, not. Mm, you in Italy, tennis is more or less like football, so you don't have to expect more than 20% of the people to know more about all the players rather than who they are and more or less what where they are in the ranking, more or less. So I mean, being also the last big name standing in the tournament.
Mm.
Actually, I remember 2017. The crowd was incredibly vocal for him in the final because he was kind of the new face.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean he's a top player. I mean, so there's always going to be people that like him. And he hasn't won a slam, but he's come close and he's won big titles, several big titles. So
Yeah.
he's not. I mean, it's hard to say how popular is he compared to. He's obviously not as popular as big three or I don't know, like Alcaraz Sinner. No,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't think I don't think he's a household name, right? Like I don't think
no.
he's gonna be up there with your, I guess, big three, Andy Murray.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. But
Alcaraz.
still, the
Yeah.
thing at least in Rome, um,
Yeah. And he made it.
98% of the tickets are sold before knowing who will play, for example, the final. So
Mm.
Yeah.
it's not like it's rare that people really um you know chooses thinking about who is going to be there, you know
Yeah.
so this is not really a factor, at least in this tournament, knowing
Right.
how it more or less goes.
Right. But he also made the final of Rome in 2018.
Yeah, at some
Wow.
moment he seemed unstoppable
Right. I
because
know. He won the
he
second set
played an
6-1.
amazing second set and went up an early break, I think, in the third. Then there was a bit of rain,
Yeah. The
and
rain.
in the end the momentum slipped away, but there was a moment where it looked like it was possible that
Yeah.
he could have beat Rafa and won the title.
Yeah. That's true. But he still hasn't won a big title in a while. The last one was ATP Finals 2021.
Yeah.
And then he made the Madrid final in 2022, but no final since.
Yeah, in big tournaments. Yeah.
I suppose he had a chance in the early part of the third set against Dimitrov in Miami semis.
I would have been interested in watching, a final there between him and Sinner.
Right, yeah. That's basically the only
Would
top
have
three
had
in
some of
Sweden.
things to.
That would have been maybe a more interesting final. I agree.
I mean, knowing how it went, the actual final.
Yeah.
Double fault here. So Zverev is 2 points away from the title.
Yes. Oh dear.
Of course, this is where it really fell apart for Jarry in the first set.
So 2 match points for Zverev.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking at the start of this game, maybe we might get that tie break. But no, we'll see what happens here.
Mm.
And
So that was rally there.
oh, missing the backhand.
Yep.
So there is a second match point.
Needs a first serve here.
Well saved from Jarry. Beautiful forehand cross court. Oh, yeah.
So there's still time.
And there's been quite a few games where he's been
he-
looking like he's going to get broken, but he's managed to get it done. So
Yeah, that was courageous. But gave himself a margin and threw the shot.
yeah, I liked how he kept going as well into the backhand side and just
I was actually thinking there, please don't go for a drop shot. Don't do it. When he had the open on the last forehand, but I'm glad he swung through it and got the winner.
and well, maybe this might start to play on Zverev's mind a little bit. We'll see if Jarry grinds this one out and holds here.
Hanging in another long baseline rally. We'll see if he can get out of this game. Okay, interesting.
Oh, it's well, a couple of net courts, but Jarry wins 4 straight points, saves 2 championship points, and holds 5 games all.
Yeah. Well, this got more interesting now.
Well, for sure, because so far everything had gone well for Zverev. He almost didn't even have the time to think, let's say, a little bit, to get some things happen in the match get into his head, and right now maybe it can get a bit more difficult from a mental point of view.
Yeah. Maybe, unless Zverev just serves a love service game again. It makes 4 serves.
Yeah. But still, even if it
Or not.
anything happens, still we are getting closer to maybe a tiebreak. So
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So you wouldn't believe what I've just seen.
a double fault.
Yes.
I mean, I know him quite well. So if you just give me,
Yeah.
even if you said I can't believe, I was
Yeah.
thinking about something more.
Yeah, I was thinking about like, is there a tweener? Is there a Jarry?
Yeah, exactly.
Bonus point one. Is there some?
Ooh, this is a mistake that shouldn't have happened. But yeah, I mean, maybe also, the bounce a little bit because he went
Yeah.
off rhythm. So
Yeah. So how about Francisco Pizarro winning the challenger in Turin?
yeah, unbelievable. The couple of weeks he had.
Yeah. Especially the route in this title, right? To get through Russavori and then
Incredible.
Nakashima.
Started from Rome, and then also in Turin, and actually in Turin he played even better.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, very
that's
good for him, from 240 to 132 in the rankings.
yeah.
But he's not in the draw at the qualis at the French for
Mm.
2 spots. So
Did he play the next gen finals last year? I feel like he did, right?
no, it
Or
was
no,
2022.
2022. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing him there. That's tough for
Yeah,
Musetti to lose two back to
he
back.
was on the verge of breaking the top 100 at some moment. He was 108. Then a couple of injuries here and there, and confidence also went down. Started the year with a lot of ups and downs. But yeah,
Yeah.
actually, an amazing couple of weeks. That's also what it helps to having some wild cards to do to some players.
Yeah.
He actually got one only to the qualis draw in Rome, but yeah, from there a big run started. In the end, comfortable hold for Zverev, despite the double fault. So,
Yeah, Zverev has a good record in finals. He's 21-11.
yeah.
So with this, yeah, he'd basically be 2/3.
Of course, if you consider Masters, the numbers are a bit lower.
Right.
But
5-5.
5 and 5. if you consider all the big finals, though, it's you have to add 3 wins, you get to 8 and 1 loss, of course, against team. So it's 8-6, I think. 8-6.
You
Yeah, I mean,
including Olympics there?
yeah, I've included Olympics.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's not a bad
What's the
record,
record
really. But
for
No.
most number of ATP titles won without winning a slam? I think he's because it's basically like Murray, I think, and like
I-
Lendl.
there is someone. I'm sure that I
Mm,
saw this stat somewhere, and I think that the record is 28 or something like that.
yeah,
Uh,
maybe Lendl. Maybe Lendl should have the record because I feel like he won so many titles before he won his first. Let me see what Murray is at because I think Murray is
well, yeah, it was him and
Murray
Murray.
23. Yeah, Murray with 23. So he won the Olympics, which was his final title before his first major. And then title number 24 was the US Open 2012. Okay, so he'd be getting close there with 22.
yeah, considering his, let's say, generation rivals, he has the the better records.
Yeah.
Record.
And then you have Medvedev, who's
Yeah,
also what?
Iga is 21-4, but I don't think Iga is, the right player
Yeah,
to compare
yeah,
anyone.
true.
Yeah. Of course, if we bring into the conversation, I don't know, the big three, or of course Iga or Serena, of course it looks, a bad record, but overall.
True. Okay, let's see. I'm just interested in seeing what Lendl's was because I feel like Lendl might have been like around 40. 40. I had a feeling. So 40, he won Luxembourg, which was on carpet, and then he won the famous 1984 Roland Garros final from 2 sets to down against Johnny Mack.
Yeah, I think that there is, I don't know if I'm wrong, but maybe there is someone who has more titles than Zverev without having ever won a slam. But I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's I'm just going, because I remember having read that somewhere, so I can't see.
Okay. Let me see.
1530 again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, the backhand on the line and then the forehand approach.
There's still some big job to do for Jarry if he wants to bring his match to a tiebreak.
I think there are some, like Brian Gottfried, he won 25. He never won a slam.
And 30 all.
Oh, yeah. Ferrer, of course. Ferrer,
Ah, yeah.
27.
Ah, okay, yeah. It can be that one, yeah.
what? Oh,
Easier. Oh,
yeah, the
Oh,
serve was out.
yeah, it's out. It's out.
yeah, it's out. Okay. That's good
The thing
because
I will never understand about the crowds in tennis in general, but everywhere, is whistling when a player
yeah,
goes to
yeah, I don't get
to
it.
see the mark. I never understood why it
It's
happens,
just a
but
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why it's.
I don't know if maybe it's
Yeah,
just because, I don't know, you're stopping maybe play and the crowd.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Jarry just sending that one just wide.
Mm. Mm.
Third match point.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, well, we've seen Jarry get out of it a few times now, so let's see if we can do it again. Well, the approach wasn't brilliant, but Zverev wasn't
Zverev.
quite right in the right
Yes,
position,
exactly.
right?
Too far
Deuce,
behind the hit line.
another match point saved.
Yeah, he was like reaching for that forehand because he was so far back. Was
Showing
that
the mark. I
good?
think it's in.
It looked good. Let's see if
Second serve.
oh, okay, it was out then.
Yeah, it was out.
And we have another championship point.
Yeah. The fourth. Let's see if it will be the right one. Oh, missed. There is a second serve. A long rally.
And there we go.
And that's it. Zverev wins. He is the Rome Masters champion for the second career time, 7 years after the first one, which was also his first Masters career title.
7 years, wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so that 2017, right?
Yeah, 2017 when he beat Djokovic.
And that was God.
Yeah, and then he won also in Canada the same year, beating Federer in the final. And yeah, so 6th career Masters title for Zverev, 6-4, 7-5 against Jarry. So the winners, the Masters winners of this clay season have been Tsitsipas, Rublev, and Zverev.
Yep, you're tier 2 guys.
The generation that was being eaten a little bit up by the new guys for a lot of different circumstances have found some good months on the clay.
So
Very big week also for Jarry for sure.
Does Zverev move up to
number 4 in the world and number 2 in the race?
Oh yeah, he moves ahead of Medvedev.
Yeah, also in the race.
Interesting, yeah.
And ties also the 6 titles in Masters tournament that Medvedev has.
I forgot about that because it doesn't really feel like, he hasn't done anything spectacular since Australia, right? Zverev. It's been kind of mediocre until this week.
I mean, the United Cup for him counts more or less as an ATP 500 tournament won.
True.
So of course the semi in Australia, the semi in
Miami,
the Sunshine Double he made quarterfinal and semi-final.
True, yeah. Yeah, I guess the start of the clay court season is where,
Yeah, that was a bit.
waiting for.
Yeah, was not great.
I mean, 95% first serves won there is the story of the match there. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, basically
That's
there
awesome.
hasn't, nothing really ever happened when Zverev was serving. These matches more or less, always been about Jarry's service games.
yeah, I mean,
So
Jarry made a lot of errors. Any little half chances that he had, he just sort of, he ended up making errors. It was quite not a great unforced error to win our count.
well, yeah. So I don't know if we have the producer back. Yes, exactly, Ghosty. Tommy Paul was robbed. But yeah, so I mean, Zverev now secured himself a top 4 seed also at the French Open, while Medvedev has to rely on some on one win withdrawal. So yeah, in the end, let's say that at some point it was looking like a very, very open tournament. Then in the end, we had another big name winning it.
Yeah.
In the end, even in an open clay court season, still we haven't got a first time Masters champion.
Zverev's taken his chance. Some would say. Yeah, but fourth there, just ahead of Medvedev.
Yeah, he is surpassing him in both the ranking and the race. So, yeah, I think that it can be it. It's been a big pleasure for me to be with you two, covering this final. And yeah, I don't know if you two wants to add something, anything, some comment, or we can just wrap it up.
No, I mean this is just good for Zverev's French Open hopes, isn't it? So much to Ghosty's dismay.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, arriving there with a trophy is for sure a big confidence boost. That's for sure. He's also always been very consistent there because he's been semi-finalist in all the last 3 years, 21, 22, 23. So yeah, for sure, it's going to be one to keep an eye on when the French Open will start.
Yeah, for sure. And the draw will be very interesting for him as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, because he's also, he's a player that, there are some players who can put him into maybe some trouble. So we will also have to see who he gets to face. Who are we tipping for the men's French Open?
I mean,
why?
I don't know
Why this question?
It's such a hard one this year.
I don't know. Genuinely, like usually we know, but I don't know this year. Like I really have no clue. But I guess Runa's at a very interesting spot, right? 13th. Imagine if he played one of the.
Yeah, if he reaches the round four, he should play one of the top 4 seeds.
No, not Runa. No way. Oh, I can't imagine it.
I cannot answer. Oh my god. I'm just going to say Alcaraz.
This year, at the beginning I was thinking, or earlier in the season, I was thinking Alcaraz, and then it was Sinner. But then as they come into this, and then I was thinking, oh, maybe it's a chance for Djokovic, but then his last performance
Also,
wasn't great. But
Yeah,
I also
that
think when
was-
it comes down to it, Djokovic will probably play well in this tournament. So
I'll go with Djokovic. That's my answer.
yeah, it's okay, Eddie. You also have to answer.
I'm gonna also go with Djokovic. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So Djokovic beats Alcaraz 2-1.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
very bold. Very,
Is he being sarcastic there?
Yeah.
So let's also invite
Super bold.
everybody who is still listening to like and subscribe to the channel, since with more subscribers we can bring an even better coverage. And yeah, you all just can tune in for the WTA weekly in the evening at least here where I live, but just later. The ATP weekly should be tomorrow, and I'm sure plenty of other coverage. There's also John in Strasbourg. So yeah, I would say just bye and yeah, tune in for what's next.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Sammaz and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.